To make the first panel, start by making a foundation chain that will have the length of half of your hip measurement minus 5 centimeters. So I'm taking out 5 centimeters because as we start working the Suzette stitch that I'm going to use for this project, the work will grow bigger, especially if you're using an acrylic yarn. And this foundation chain should be made of an even number of chains. Skip the first chain and inside the second chain make a single crochet. Right there, make a double crochet in the same chain. That is the Suzette stitch. Now skip the next chain into the following, repeat the same thing. 1 single crochet, 1 double crochet in the same chain. Again, skip the next chain into the following one, make 1 single crochet, and right in there again make a double crochet. So keep repeating that until you get to the end of the row, and we will end with a single crochet. After the last Suzette stitch, you have 2 chains left. Go into the very last chain and make a single crochet. That ends the first row. Now chain 1, this is just a turning chain. Into that very first stitch, the first one of the row, make a single crochet and then a double crochet, so a Suzette stitch. Now skip your next stitch into the following, repeat a Suzette stitch. So 1 single crochet, 1 double crochet. I'm not sure you can see it properly due to the color of the yarn that I'm using, but I hope you get the explanation. So this is basically like the previous row. Keep repeating that until you get your bottom to hip length. However, after 10 rows, I will stop to switch to another color of yarn. That was row 10. Starting row 9, I would like to change to a new yarn. So I will insert my hook and then use the new yarn to make the single crochet. So pull the yarn out and then make your single crochet like that. And then next, the double crochet. At this point, I've got the black yarn, the first one, make a knot. If you want also to use many colors, that's how you can change it. That's one way you can change it. I made it to 25 centimeters and that is fine for me as bottom to hip length. From here on, we will make a couple of reductions until we reach the waist level. So insert your hook as if you wanted to start a single crochet and you have 2 loops on the hook. Then don't finish that single crochet. Move to the next stitch. Insert your hook, pull the yarn out, and in the third stitch do the same thing. Insert your hook, pull the yarn out, and this time we will close it. So that is a reduction. Right there where we did the last stitch, yarn over, insert your hook and make a double crochet. So we just created a new Suzette stitch with the reduction. Continue working your Suzette stitches until the end where we will make another reduction again. To make the reduction at the end of the row, we will combine the last 2 Suzette stitches, which means when you have 4 stitches left, insert your hook into the second, so you skip the next stitch, into the following, insert your hook, pull the yarn out. Now you have 2 stitches left to finish the row. Insert your hook into that next stitch, pull the yarn out. Again, insert your hook into the last stitch, pull the yarn out, and then close everything. So we just created a reduction at the end of the row as well. Now chain 1. We just finished that way the first row of the hip to waist section. Now into that last stitch, make a scissor stitch. Now we are working for this second row of the hip to waist section. We will work without making any reduction. Well, that's the end of row 5. Now I'm ready to start row 6, where I will make my second reduction. So as I did for the previous row, I'll pull the yarn out like this in the first stitch. Next stitch, pull the yarn out again, and into the third one, do the same thing, pull the yarn out and close everything. So I made another reduction on my row 6. The next reduction will be on row 11 and so on. Yeah, the next decrease after row 11 will be row 16. Next one will be row 21 and so on. As you're going, measure the width of the panel and see if you have half of your waist measurement. If you reach it as you are at the waist level, that's great. But if you reach that measurement before reaching the waist level, then continue working without reduction. At this point, I reached my waist level and the measurement, this measurement is half of my waist measurement. The next step is actually to make some ribbons, but I want my waist to be let's say kind of snatch, a little bit tight. For that, I'll make a couple of decreases now. So for this new row that I'm going to start, it's going to be a row of single crochets. Into the first stitch, I'll make my single crochet, second stitch, single crochet. So into the first 6 stitches, single crochet. So this is 3, 4, 5 and 6. And now into the stitch number 7, I'll create a decrease, number 7 and number 8. So insert your hook into the stitch number 7, pull the yarn out, go to the next stitch, that's stitch number 8, pull the yarn out, and then close your single crochet. And then repeat again another series of 6 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now time to make another decrease, and that's how I'm going to insert a couple of decreases. So another series again of 6 single crochets. If your waist here the measurement at the waist level is already like tight, then you don't need to make the decreases. Of course, you can adjust this, make maybe a series of 4 or 5 single crochets before making the decrease. That's up to you. Now that this row of decrease is done, chain 1, turn, and we are now going to make a row of double crochets. Insert a double crochet in every stitch. After the last double crochet, chain 2, they count as the first double crochet of the next row. And for this row, we are going to make front and back post. Yarn over into the second double crochet. So the first one is already accounted for with these 2 chains. For the second double crochet, insert your hook from the back, push the double crochet to the front and make a double crochet. That's a front post. And then for the back post, insert your hook in a way that you push the double crochet to the back, and then you make a double crochet. So repeat front and back post until the end of the row. On top of the last stitch, make a double crochet. That ends this row. Then for the next row, chain 2. This is going to be the last row for the skirt, for this panel of the skirt. Again, we are going to repeat front and back post. So where it looks like a back post, make a back post, and then where your stitch looks like a front post, like the double crochet is on the front side, make a front post, and repeat front and back post across. And that's the end of this panel. You only have to repeat the same thing to make the second panel. Repeat the same thing on the second side and the skirt will be ready.